Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint a picture for you. You're standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind howling, the ground beneath you shaky. That's what betrayal feels like, doesn't it? It's disorienting, it's painful, and most of all, it's revealing. Now, I need you to hear me, not with your ears, but with your heart. Because what I'm about to say isn't just about relationships, it's about you, your value, your peace, your future. If your partner has done these three things, let me tell you, do not, I repeat, do not give them another chance. If they've lied to your face, they've stolen something from you, your trust. Trust is fragile. It's not something you patch up with a Band-Aid apology. A lie is a crack in the foundation, and no house stands tall when its base is broken. Second, if they've disrespected you, whether through words, actions, or neglect, they've shown you exactly how little they value what you bring to the table. And listen to me, disrespect is a slippery slope. You let it slide once, and it becomes a pattern. Third, if they betrayed you, whether emotionally, physically, or spiritually, that is a deal breaker. Betrayal isn't a mistake, it's a choice. A choice that says, I value my desires over our bond, and anyone who makes that choice doesn't deserve a place in your life. Now I know what you're thinking. But I love them. Love is powerful, yes, but love without respect and trust is poison. You can't keep drinking it, hoping it'll turn into medicine. Stand tall. Walk away if you must. Not because you're giving up, but because you're giving in to the truth. The truth that you deserve better. This isn't about revenge or anger, it's about boundaries. It's about recognizing that second chances don't apply to patterns of destruction. If someone has shown you who they are, believe them. Because at the end of the day, your life is yours. And the greatest act of love you can ever show is the love you give to yourself. Trust is the invisible thread that holds a relationship together, the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, no amount of love, passion, or shared memories can sustain a partnership. Trust is not just a luxury in a relationship, it is a necessity, as vital as air to breathe and water to drink. It is the silent agreement that assures two people they can be vulnerable, authentic, and open without fear of betrayal or deceit. When trust is present, love flourishes. When it is absent, love becomes a fragile, flickering flame struggling to survive against the winds of doubt and suspicion. When two people come together, they bring with them their pasts, their hopes, and their fears. Trust is the bridge that allows them to cross these divides and connect deeply. It is the belief that the other person has your best interests at heart, even when things are difficult. Trust doesn't mean perfection or an absence of mistakes, rather. It means consistency, honesty, and a willingness to repair when things go wrong. It is the quiet confidence that your partner will keep their promises, that their words and actions align, and that their intentions are pure. Without trust, even the strongest love can falter. Imagine a house built on unsteady ground. No matter how beautifully it is constructed, it will eventually crack and crumble under the pressure of instability. Similarly, a relationship without trust might look fine on the surface, but beneath it lies a growing sense of uncertainty that can erode the bond between two people. This erosion often starts small, a white lie here, a broken promise there, but over time it becomes a chasm that is nearly impossible to bridge. When trust is broken, the pain runs deep. It is not just about the specific act of betrayal, whether it be a lie, an affair, or some other form of dishonesty. It is about the loss of the sense of safety and security that trust provides. Suddenly, the person you once felt most connected to feels like a stranger. Doubts creep in, turning every conversation, every glance, into an opportunity for suspicion. The emotional toll is immense, affecting not only your relationship but your sense of self-worth and your ability to trust others in the future. Rebuilding trust, while possible, is one of the hardest things to achieve in a relationship. It requires time, patience, and an extraordinary amount of effort from both parties. The person who broke the trust must show consistent, genuine accountability, and a willingness to make amends. The person who was hurt must decide whether they are willing and able to forgive and move forward. But even with the best intentions, the scars of broken trust can linger, creating a relationship that is never quite the same as it once was. This is why protecting and nurturing trust is so crucial. Trust is built in the small moments of everyday life through honest conversations, acts of kindness, and the consistent demonstration of care and integrity. It grows when you honor your commitments, when you show up not just physically but emotionally, and when you prioritize your partner's well-being alongside your own. Trust is not a grand gesture, it is a series of small, intentional choices made over time. It's also important to recognize that trust is a two-way street. Just as you need to trust your partner, you must also strive to be trustworthy yourself. This means being honest even when it's uncomfortable. It means communicating openly and clearly and taking responsibility for your actions. It means respecting your partner's boundaries and showing them, through both words and deeds, that you value and cherish their trust. Some might argue that love is enough to sustain a relationship, even when trust has been damaged. But love without trust is like a beautiful flower in a vase. It may look vibrant for a time, but without roots, it will inevitably wither and die. Trust is what allows love to grow strong and resilient, able to weather the storms of life. It is what turns love from a fleeting feeling into a lasting bond. Trust is not just about the relationship, it is about the individuals within it. A relationship built on trust allows both people to feel seen, heard, and valued. It creates a space where vulnerability is met with compassion, where mistakes are met with understanding, and where challenges are met with teamwork. It is the foundation upon which true intimacy and connection are built. Without trust, a relationship becomes a shadow of what it could be. With it, love has the chance to thrive in its fullest, most beautiful form. Trust is not just the foundation of a relationship, it is its heart, its soul, and its greatest strength. Betrayal is one of the most profound wounds a person can endure in a relationship. It is more than just an act of dishonesty or a broken promise. It is a declaration of disregard for the very core of the bond between two people. Betrayal, in its essence, is not just about the action, it's about what the action reveals. When someone betrays you, they are not simply making a mistake, they are exposing a deeper truth about their character, priorities, and values. Trust in a relationship is built on a foundation of shared respect and understanding. When betrayal occurs, it is like a hammer striking that foundation, leaving cracks that are difficult, if not impossible, to repair. Whether it's infidelity, deceit, or abandonment in a moment of need, betrayal goes beyond the surface act. It speaks volumes about the betrayer's inability or unwillingness to honor the commitment they made. It shows a lack of empathy, integrity, and self-control. Actions that shatter trust are not isolated incidents, they are symptoms of deeper flaws in a person's character. What makes betrayal so painful is that it violates the very essence of safety and connection in a relationship. When you trust someone, you allow yourself to be vulnerable. You share your hopes, dreams, and fears, believing that this person will honor and protect them. Betrayal takes that vulnerability and exploits it, leaving you feeling exposed and broken. It is not just about the hurt caused by the act itself, but the realization that the person you trusted is capable of causing such pain. Betrayal reveals selfishness. It shows that the betrayer prioritizes their desires, impulses, or ego above the well-being of the person they claim to care about. For example, infidelity is not just about seeking physical gratification, it is about disregarding the emotional devastation it will cause. Lying is not just about avoiding consequences, it is about manipulating someone's perception of reality for personal gain. These actions are rooted in a mindset that values self-interest over honesty and respect. Betrayal highlights a lack of accountability. People who betray often try to justify their actions, shifting blame or minimizing the impact of their choices. They might say things like, "It was just a mistake," or "I didn't mean to hurt you." While mistakes are human, betrayal is rarely an accident. It is a conscious decision to prioritize something else, be it desire, fear, or convenience, over the trust and bond shared with another person. This unwillingness to take responsibility only deepens the wound and reinforces the character flaw at play. Another truth about betrayal is that it reveals a person's inconsistency. True character is demonstrated not in words but in actions. Someone who betrays may have spoken of love, loyalty, and commitment, but their actions contradict those promises. This disconnect between words and actions is a clear indicator of a deeper flaw, a lack of authenticity, and alignment between what they claim to be and who they truly are. It is in moments of betrayal that the mask slips, and their true nature is exposed. The pain of betrayal often leads the person who was hurt to question themselves. They might wonder, was it my fault? Could I have done something differently? But it's important to remember that betrayal is never a reflection of your worth or actions. It is a reflection of the betrayer's character. Their choices are about them, not you. Recognizing this distinction is crucial for healing and moving forward. Forgiveness is a noble concept, and rebuilding trust after betrayal is sometimes possible. However, it requires more than apologies and promises. It demands a complete transformation of the character flaw that led to the betrayal in the first place. This is a monumental task, and many are unwilling or incapable of undertaking it. A relationship can only survive betrayal if both parties are willing to do the hard work of rebuilding trust and addressing the root cause of the breach. Still, it's essential to ask yourself a hard question. Even if trust can be rebuilt, do you want to stay with someone who has shown you their capacity for betrayal? Betrayal is not just a momentary lapse in judgment, it is a window into a person's priorities and values. Choosing to forgive does not mean you have to continue the relationship. Sometimes the greatest act of self-respect is walking away from someone who has shown they cannot be trusted. Betrayal is a powerful teacher. It teaches you about the fragility of trust, the importance of boundaries, and the value of self-respect. It also reveals the true character of the person who betrayed you. Actions that shatter trust are not isolated missteps, they are evidence of deeper flaws that may continue to manifest in the future. Recognizing this truth allows you to protect yourself and make choices that honor your worth and well-being. Trust, once broken, can sometimes be repaired, but the character flaws revealed by betrayal are not so easily erased. Self-respect is the cornerstone of a healthy, fulfilling life. It is the recognition of your intrinsic value and the unwavering commitment to honoring yourself, no matter the circumstances. In relationships, self-respect sets the tone for how others treat you. It establishes boundaries, communicates standards, and ensures that your worth is never compromised. However, when you accept certain behaviors that undermine your dignity, you unknowingly diminish your own value over time. Allowing disrespect, mistreatment, or disregard chips away at your sense of self, leaving you feeling diminished and undervalued. Accepting unacceptable behavior often begins subtly. It might start with excusing a harsh word, overlooking a broken promise, or rationalizing an instance of neglect. You tell yourself it's just this once, or they didn't mean it. But each time you let such behavior slide, you send a message to yourself and to the other person that your boundaries are flexible, that your feelings are secondary, and that your self-worth is negotiable. Over time, these small compromises accumulate, eroding your confidence and self-esteem. What you tolerate becomes the standard, and before you realize it, you're trapped in a cycle of disrespect. One of the most dangerous aspects of accepting harmful behavior is the normalization of it. The human mind has an incredible capacity to adapt, even to negative situations. What feels unacceptable at first can, over time, start to feel ordinary. You might convince yourself that it's not that bad or that everyone has flaws. While it's true that no one is perfect, there is a significant difference between imperfection and consistent disregard for your feelings and boundaries. When you allow others to cross those lines repeatedly, you begin to internalize the idea that you don't deserve better. The long-term effects of accepting disrespectful behavior can be devastating. Each instance of compromise chips away at your sense of self-worth, leaving you questioning your value and doubting your decisions. You might start to feel as though your voice doesn't matter or that standing up for yourself will only lead to conflict. This mindset can seep into other areas of your life, affecting your confidence at work, in friendships, and even in your personal goals. The more you accept behavior that diminishes your worth, the more you lose touch with the strong, capable person you truly are. Self-respect is not about arrogance or selfishness, it's about recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It's about setting boundaries and enforcing them, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out, they are guidelines that define how you expect to be treated and how you will treat others. When you have strong boundaries, you communicate to the world that you value yourself and that you expect others to value you as well. One of the hardest parts of maintaining self-respect is the fear of losing people. You might worry that standing up for yourself will push others away, or that refusing to tolerate certain behaviors will leave you alone. But the truth is, the people who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, and the ones who don't were never meant to stay in your life. Letting go of toxic relationships is not a loss. It is again a step toward a healthier, happier life where you surround yourself with people who uplift and respect you. Respecting yourself also means being willing to walk away from situations and relationships that no longer serve you. This doesn't mean you have to abandon every relationship at the first sign of trouble, but it does mean recognizing patterns of behavior that are harmful and addressing them. If those behaviors persist despite your efforts to communicate and set boundaries, then self-respect demands that you prioritize your well-being and move on. Staying in a relationship where your worth is continually undermined is not an act of loyalty, it is an act of self-betrayal. The foundation of self-respect lies in self-awareness and self-compassion. You must take the time to understand your own needs, values, and boundaries. What are the behaviors you consider unacceptable? What standards do you hold for yourself and others? Once you have clarity, you must be compassionate with yourself in enforcing these boundaries. It's natural to feel guilty or uncertain at times, but remember that every step you take towards self-respect is a step toward a more authentic and fulfilling life. Accepting disrespectful behavior is a form of settling. It's telling yourself that this is the best you can do, even when your heart knows you deserve more. Self-respect requires courage, the courage to stand up for yourself, to demand better, and to walk away when necessary. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you choose self-respect, you reclaim your power, honor your worth, and set the stage for a life filled with relationships and experiences that reflect the incredible value you bring to the world. Promises can be captivating. They are filled with hope, laden with the potential for change, and often delivered with the kind of sincerity that makes you want to believe. But promises, no matter how heartfelt, are ultimately empty if they are not followed by consistent actions. In relationships, it is not words that define someone's character, it is their patterns. People reveal who they are not through fleeting apologies or grand declarations, but through the behaviors they repeat over time. To build trust and maintain respect, you must learn to look beyond promises and focus on patterns. Patterns are the truth tellers of relationships. They reflect what a person values, how they prioritize their commitments, and how they respond to challenges. While anyone can apologize after making a mistake, the real question is whether that mistake becomes a lesson or a habit. An apology might soothe the immediate pain of disappointment, but only changed behavior proves that the apology was genuine. Without change, apologies become hollow words, a cycle of hurt and temporary relief that ultimately leads nowhere. When someone makes a promise, it often feels like a gesture of hope. They are acknowledging their mistake and committing to doing better. This can be comforting, especially when you want to believe in the relationship. But a promise is only as meaningful as the actions that follow. If someone repeatedly breaks promises, it is not because they are incapable of keeping them, it is because they lack the willingness or discipline to prioritize their words with actions. Over time, this pattern of broken promises erodes trust and undermines the foundation of the relationship. It's important to recognize that patterns are not accidental. They are deliberate choices repeated over time. For instance, if someone consistently disrespects your boundaries despite apologizing each time, the pattern reveals a lack of respect for your needs. If they repeatedly make commitments they don't keep, the pattern shows a disregard for the importance of reliability. Patterns are the blueprint of a person's character, and ignoring them in favor of promises sets you up for continued disappointment. One of the most damaging aspects of focusing on promises instead of patterns is the toll it takes on your self-esteem. When you allow someone to repeatedly let you down, you may start to internalize the belief that your feelings, needs, or boundaries are not important. You might begin to question your own worth, wondering if you are asking for too much or being unreasonable. This self-doubt can lead you to lower your standards and accept less than you deserve, perpetuating a cycle of unmet expectations and emotional pain. Evaluating patterns over promises requires a level of emotional clarity and self-awareness. It means paying attention to how someone shows up in your life, not just what they say. Are their actions consistent with their words? Do they make an effort to change harmful behaviors, or do they rely on apologies to pacify you? By focusing on patterns, you gain a clearer understanding of who they truly are, rather than who they claim to be or who you hope they might become. It's also essential to understand the difference between a mistake and a pattern. Everyone makes mistakes, it's part of being human. A single misstep followed by genuine effort to make amends and change is not the same as a repeated cycle of harmful behavior. Patterns emerge when mistakes are repeated, and no meaningful effort is made to address the underlying issues. The key is to look for consistency in actions, not isolated incidents or promises of change. Choosing to prioritize patterns over promises is an act of self-respect. It means valuing yourself enough to expect integrity and consistency from those around you. It's about setting boundaries and holding others accountable for their actions. This doesn't mean you have to be harsh or unforgiving, but it does mean recognizing when someone's behavior is not aligning with their words and taking appropriate steps to protect your well-being. It can be difficult to accept that someone you care about is showing you through their patterns that they are not capable or willing to meet your expectations. There may be moments when you want to believe their promises, hoping that this time will be different. But hope is not a strategy for building healthy relationships. It is the actions repeated, consistent, and aligned with respect and care that create the foundation for trust and mutual respect. Focusing on patterns over promises empowers you to make decisions based on reality rather than wishful thinking. It allows you to see people for who they truly are, not who they say they will be. This clarity is a gift, enabling you to invest your time, energy, and love in relationships that honor your worth and contribute to your growth. When you choose to value actions over words, you take a stand for your own dignity, ensuring that the relationships you nurture are built on a foundation of trust, respect, and integrity. Boundaries are an essential aspect of a healthy and fulfilling life. They are not barriers to keep people out, but expressions of self-respect, self-awareness, and emotional strength. Boundaries communicate what you will and will not accept, ensuring that your relationships and interactions are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Far from being a sign of weakness, boundaries are a testament to your strength. They reflect your ability to honor your needs while maintaining respect for others. In a world that often rewards self-sacrifice and people-pleasing, setting boundaries is an act of courage and self-preservation. Boundaries are a declaration of your worth. When you set clear limits on how you expect to be treated, you send a powerful message to yourself and others: I value myself enough to protect my well-being. This is not about selfishness or arrogance. It is about recognizing your intrinsic value and ensuring that you are not diminished by the actions or behaviors of others. Without boundaries, you risk becoming a vessel for other people's needs, expectations, and demands, often at the expense of your own emotional health. One of the greatest misconceptions about boundaries is that they are selfish or hurtful to others. In reality, boundaries are an act of kindness, both to yourself and those around you. They provide clarity in relationships, eliminating guesswork and fostering open communication. When you establish what is acceptable and what is not, you create an environment where expectations are clear and misunderstandings are minimized. This transparency strengthens relationships, as it allows both parties to navigate interactions with mutual understanding and respect. The absence of boundaries, on the other hand, often leads to resentment and burnout. When you consistently tolerate behaviors that conflict with your values or comfort, you begin to feel unappreciated and taken for granted. Over time, this resentment can erode the quality of your relationships, leading to frustration and emotional exhaustion. By setting boundaries, you prevent these negative outcomes, ensuring that your interactions are balanced and reciprocal. It takes strength to set boundaries, especially in a culture that often equates selflessness with virtue. Saying no or asserting your needs can feel uncomfortable, particularly if you fear conflict or rejection. However, the discomfort of setting boundaries is a small price to pay for the peace and fulfillment that comes from living authentically. It is a reminder that your emotional health and self-respect are worth prioritizing, even if it means disappointing others. Establishing boundaries is also an exercise in self-awareness. To set effective limits, you must first understand your own values, priorities, and emotional triggers. What behaviors are you unwilling to tolerate? What actions make you feel disrespected or undervalued? By reflecting on these questions, you gain clarity on what you need to feel safe, respected, and supported. This self-awareness not only helps you set boundaries, but also empowers you to communicate them effectively. Boundaries are not just about saying no, they are about defining the terms of your engagement with the world. For example, setting boundaries might mean limiting your availability to protect your time, refusing to engage in conversations that feel disrespectful, or stepping away from situations that compromise your emotional well-being. These acts are not about rejecting others, but about affirming yourself. They are a way of ensuring that you are treated with the dignity and respect you deserve. It is important to recognize that boundaries are not static, they evolve with your growth and changing circumstances. What you are willing to tolerate in one phase of your life may no longer be acceptable as you gain confidence and self-awareness. This fluidity is a natural part of personal growth, reflecting your increasing understanding of your needs and values. Revisiting and adjusting your boundaries is a sign of strength, as it demonstrates your commitment to living in alignment with your true self. Implementing boundaries requires clear and compassionate communication. People cannot honor your limits if they do not know what they are. When communicating your boundaries, it is important to be direct yet respectful. For example, instead of saying, "You always disrespect my time," you might say, "I need to feel that my time is valued, so I would appreciate it if we could stick to agreed upon schedules." This approach emphasizes your needs without attacking the other person, fostering a constructive dialogue. Some people may resist or challenge your boundaries, especially if they have benefited from your lack of them in the past. This resistance can be difficult to navigate, but it is a test of your resolve. Standing firm in the face of pushback is a powerful affirmation of your strength and self-worth. Remember, boundaries are not about controlling others, they are about taking control of your own life and ensuring that your well-being is not compromised. Boundaries are an act of self-love. They protect your emotional health, honor your values, and ensure that your relationships are rooted in mutual respect. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you create a life that reflects your worth and fosters genuine connection. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Boundaries are the foundation of a balanced and fulfilling life, a testament to the strength and self-respect that define who you are. Love, at its core, is meant to be a force that uplifts, supports, and enriches your life. It should never be something that tears you down, leaves you feeling diminished, or causes you pain. Yet, in the name of love, many people tolerate behaviors and situations that undermine their self-worth and emotional well-being. True love is not about suffering or sacrifice at the expense of yourself. It is about mutual respect, care, and growth. When love becomes toxic, it ceases to be love and transforms into something harmful, a shadow of what it is meant to be. Healthy love uplifts because it is rooted in respect. Respect is the foundation of any relationship that seeks to thrive. It means valuing each other's feelings, boundaries, and individuality. In a healthy relationship, both partners are equals, contributing to a dynamic where each feels safe and valued. There is no room for control, manipulation, or disregard. Instead, the relationship becomes a space where both people feel free to express themselves, pursue their goals, and grow as individuals and as a couple. Toxic love, on the other hand, is marked by patterns that erode self-esteem and happiness. It often begins subtly, with small acts of control, criticism, or neglect that grow over time. Before long, these behaviors create an environment of fear, insecurity, and doubt. Toxic love thrives on imbalance. One partner dominates while the other sacrifices. Instead of feeling uplifted, you may find yourself questioning your worth, walking on eggshells, or constantly trying to prove your love or earn the other person's approval. One of the most painful aspects of toxic love is its ability to distort your perception of what love should be. If you have been hurt in the name of love, you might begin to equate love with struggle or pain. You may convince yourself that enduring mistreatment is a sign of commitment, or that love requires you to tolerate things that diminish your happiness. This is not love. This is a harmful narrative that keeps you trapped in a cycle of emotional suffering. Real love does not hurt. It does not demand that you give up your sense of self to keep someone else happy. In healthy love, conflict is resolved with kindness and understanding, not blame or hostility. Disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, but the way they are handled reveals the nature of the connection. In a healthy relationship, conflict becomes an opportunity to understand each other better and find solutions that work for both partners. Toxic love, however, weaponizes conflict, using it as a tool to belittle, control, or manipulate. This creates an environment where you feel unheard and invalidated, further deepening the emotional damage. Healthy love also celebrates your individuality. It encourages you to pursue your passions, maintain your friendships, and honor your personal goals. A healthy partner recognizes that you are a whole person, not an extension of them. Toxic love, by contrast, seeks to control or diminish your individuality. It may involve jealousy, possessiveness, or an expectation that you give up parts of yourself to accommodate the other person. Over time, this can lead to a loss of identity, making it difficult to recognize who you are outside of the relationship. One of the clearest signs of healthy love is how it makes you feel about yourself. In a healthy relationship, you feel valued, cherished, and supported. Your partner celebrates your successes, comforts you in times of struggle, and treats you with kindness and respect. Toxic love, however, often leaves you feeling anxious, insecure, or unworthy. Instead of building you up, it tears you down, creating a cycle of pain that is difficult to escape. It is important to remember that love should never be a justification for mistreatment. No amount of love can excuse disrespect, manipulation, or abuse. True love is not about enduring pain. It is about creating a partnership that uplifts both people involved. If love is causing you more harm than happiness, it is not love. It is a toxic dynamic that needs to be addressed or ended. Choosing to walk away from toxic love is an act of self-preservation and self-respect. It is not easy, especially when emotions are involved, but it is necessary for your well-being. Healthy love will never ask you to compromise your dignity, self-worth, or happiness. It will never require you to endure pain or tolerate behaviors that hurt you. Letting go of toxic love opens the door to a healthier, more fulfilling future, where you can experience the kind of love that truly uplifts and nurtures you. Love should be a source of joy, comfort, and growth. It should inspire you to become the best version of yourself and provide a safe space where you feel valued and cherished. Love should never make you feel small, inadequate, or hurt. When love is healthy, it becomes a foundation for a life of happiness and fulfillment. Anything less than that is not worth holding on to. Healthy love uplifts. Toxic love tears you down. Choose to embrace the love that honors your worth. In conclusion, love is meant to be a force that uplifts, nurtures, and strengthens, It thrives on respect, trust, and the mutual willingness to grow and support each other. Healthy love inspires joy and self-discovery, while toxic love erodes self-worth and creates a cycle of pain. By setting boundaries, valuing consistent actions over empty promises, and prioritizing self-respect, you honor your worth and ensure that love in your life aligns with your highest values. Remember, true love never tears you down, it builds you up, celebrates your individuality, and adds to your happiness. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this message. Here's to choosing love that uplifts and empowers. Stay strong and stay true to yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in every journey where stepping back is not an act of surrender, but a declaration of power. When you remove yourself from the chaos, you create a vacuum, a space that demands attention without saying a single word. This is not about manipulation, it's about alignment. When you are constantly giving, constantly explaining, or constantly chasing, you project lack. But the moment you pause, the moment you silence your voice and retreat into your stillness, something remarkable happens. The world begins to adjust itself around you. You become magnetic. People feel the absence of your energy like a missing piece in their reality. They begin to question, to reflect, and ultimately to chase what they once took for granted. But why does this happen? It is the law of reversal in action. When you detach from needing someone's attention, their energy naturally flows toward you. The harder they try to reach you, the stronger your position becomes. Do not fear stepping back. You are not losing anything. In truth, you are gaining everything. You are reclaiming your power, commanding respect, and asserting your worth without lifting a finger. To stay silent is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength. It is in your quiet confidence that you communicate the loudest. You say, I know my value. I do not beg for attention, love, or recognition. If it is meant for me, it will come. Watch them. Watch as they begin to notice the void you left behind. They will call, they will write, and they will beg not because you demanded it, but because they now understand what they have lost. Step back. Stay silent. And trust that everything you desire is already yours. Let your stillness do the talking, and watch as the universe conspires to bring it all to you. In a world where validation is often sought in external sources, whether through social media, relationships, or societal approval, detachment is a powerful tool that many fail to fully embrace. The act of stepping back, releasing the need for validation, and allowing the universe to work in your favor is a practice that requires strength, patience, and a deep trust in the process of life itself. Detachment is not about disconnecting from life or abandoning your desires. Rather, it's about shifting your focus inward and recognizing that the fulfillment of your desires does not depend on the opinions, approval, or actions of others. This understanding is the key to personal power. When you remove the need for external validation, you begin to operate from a place of inner strength, self-worth, and trust in the flow of life. Imagine for a moment the freedom that comes when you no longer need the approval of others to feel good about yourself. This doesn't mean that you stop seeking connection or value others' opinions. It simply means you stop relying on those opinions to determine your sense of worth. You no longer base your happiness on someone else's view of you or your circumstances. Instead, you create your own reality based on your beliefs, desires, and inner knowing. When you detach from the need for validation, you give yourself the freedom to pursue your own path without fear of judgment. You stop looking to others to validate your actions, your choices, or your worth. Instead, you trust your own intuition and inner guidance. You stop seeking permission and start stepping into your power. This inner trust allows you to act without hesitation, and when you do so, the universe aligns itself with your intentions. Doors open, opportunities arise, and people are drawn to your energy, because you are no longer seeking validation from them. They sense your self-assurance, and this naturally draws them toward you. Detachment also allows you to take a step back from situations and people that drain your energy or hold you back. Often we stay in toxic relationships or unhealthy environments because we fear what others will think if we step away. But detachment frees you from this fear. You realize that your peace and growth are more important than the approval of those who may not have your best interests at heart. When you stop seeking validation from these sources, you give yourself permission to let go of what no longer serves you, and this opens the door to new, more fulfilling experiences. The key to mastering detachment is realizing that everything you need is already within you. You are not dependent on external circumstances to feel complete or whole. This doesn't mean that you reject the world around you, but rather you understand that your sense of self is not dictated by what happens outside of you. You are the creator of your reality, and by detaching from the need for validation, you step into your true power as the architect of your life. When you let go of the need for external validation, you shift your energy from one of lack to one of abundance. Instead of constantly seeking approval from others, you begin to see yourself as already whole, already enough. You stop feeling the need to prove yourself, because you know your worth is inherent, not dependent on what others think. This shift in energy is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate self-assurance and inner peace. They sense that you are not dependent on their approval, and this makes them respect you more. Detachment also means letting go of the outcome. Often we become attached to specific results or timelines. We fixate on how things should unfold, and when they don't, we become frustrated or disappointed. But when you release attachment to the outcome, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. You trust that the universe is working in your favor, and that everything that is meant for you will come at the perfect time. This trust allows you to relax into the flow of life, knowing that whatever happens is part of your greater journey. The true strength of detachment lies in the freedom it brings. You no longer have to chase after external approval or outcomes. You simply trust in the process, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way to you. By stepping back, you allow the universe to work its magic, aligning circumstances and people to bring you what you need at the right moment. This detachment is not a form of passivity, but a deep trust in the wisdom of life itself. As you release the need for validation, you reclaim your power. You realize that your worth is not determined by others, but by your own belief in yourself. You are the creator of your own reality, and when you detach from the need for external validation, you tap into a wellspring of inner strength and confidence that cannot be shaken by the opinions or actions of others. In a world that thrives on constant communication, noise, and activity, silence is often overlooked as a tool of power. However, in stillness there is a profound strength that can influence others in ways that words cannot. The quiet of your presence has the ability to shift the energy around you, drawing others toward you not because you are loud or demanding, but because you embody a deeper sense of peace and power that resonates at a much higher frequency. When you choose to be silent, you are not merely withholding words. You are allowing your energy to take center stage, and it is this energy, not your words, that becomes the most powerful form of communication. Silence creates space for others to feel, reflect, and respond, and in this space, your energy speaks volumes. The people around you begin to feel something they may not be able to articulate. They feel the absence of your noise, the calm that radiates from you, and they are drawn to it. They begin to sense that your presence is not one of dependence or desperation, but one of quiet assurance and strength. The first step in understanding the power of silence is recognizing that it isn't emptiness. Silence is not a void, it is filled with the vibration of your own energy, your thoughts, and your intentions. When you stop speaking, you align with your inner self. You stop distracting yourself with the outside world and begin to tap into your own consciousness. It is here, in this stillness, that you find the clarity and power to influence the world around you. The more you can rest in this silence, the more magnetic your energy becomes. People are naturally drawn to calm, to peace, and to those who seem unaffected by the chaos around them. When you are silent, you give others the chance to speak, to express themselves, and to reveal their true intentions. There is a certain beauty in allowing others to fill the silence. It creates a dynamic where they feel more open, more vulnerable, and more willing to share their true thoughts, desires, and fears. By withholding your own words, you allow them to find their own truth, and in doing so, you deepen the connection and create an unspoken bond of trust. You allow yourself to listen not just to others, but to the whispers of your own soul. It is only in quiet moments that you can hear the deep, intuitive guidance that speaks from within. When you silence your mind and your words, you connect with a higher consciousness that provides clarity and direction. This alignment with your inner wisdom is what allows you to move through the world with grace and purpose. Your actions, decisions, and interactions become infused with a quiet power that others recognize, even if they can't fully explain it. Silence also has the power to make people reflect on their behavior and actions. In many situations, when you stop speaking, you stop reacting. You no longer respond to provocations, to challenges, or to demands. This can be incredibly disorienting to those who expect a reaction from you. They may begin to question why you are not reacting, and in doing so, they are forced to confront their own behavior. Your silence compels them to reflect, to reconsider, and to recalibrate their approach to you. They begin to feel the weight of their words and actions, and in this process, they often come to realize that they have misjudged you or taken you for granted. This process of reflection is subtle, but its effects are profound. People may not always acknowledge it directly, but they will begin to feel the shift in energy. Your silence creates a space where their words and actions hold more meaning. It forces them to take responsibility for their own energy and behavior, and this can lead to a deeper understanding and respect for you. Your absence of words can speak more clearly to them than anything you could say. Furthermore, silence is a reminder of the power of non-attachment. By choosing not to speak, you are no longer attached to the need to prove yourself or justify your existence. You no longer need to explain yourself, your choices, or your actions. You are comfortable in your own skin, secure in your truth, and free from the need for validation. This detachment from the need to be heard or understood is what makes your energy so powerful. It is this non-attachment that radiates confidence, self-assurance, and independence, qualities that others find magnetic. Silence also invites others to be more present with themselves. When you are silent, you offer the gift of space. People are often so caught up in their own noise that they do not take the time to listen to their own inner voices. But in your silence, you allow them the opportunity to hear their own thoughts, to reflect on their own lives, and to find clarity. By simply being present in the stillness, you invite them to connect with themselves in a deeper, more meaningful way. Silence speaks louder than words, because it transcends the limitations of language and touches something more universal. It speaks to the soul, to the energy, and to the deep, unspoken truths that lie beneath the surface of human interaction. When you choose to embrace silence, you step into your power and allow the world to respond to your energy, not your words. In this space, your presence becomes a force that cannot be ignored. The reality you experience is not dictated by external circumstances, but by the way you choose to respond to them. Your emotions, thoughts, and beliefs are the driving forces that shape your world. When you learn to control your inner world, you gain the ability to shape your outer world effortlessly. By calming your mind and taking charge of your emotions, you align yourself with a higher state of being, where you no longer react to life's challenges but create the outcomes you desire. The key to mastering your reality is recognizing that your emotions are the most powerful tools you have. They are not mere reactions to external events, but signals that reveal your beliefs, thoughts, and energy. When your emotions are in harmony with your desires, your reality begins to shift in alignment with them. However, when your emotions are in conflict with your desires, you inadvertently create resistance, and the universe reflects this back to you in the form of struggles, obstacles, and delays. Learning to control your inner world begins with becoming aware of your emotional state and how it affects your perception of reality. It is easy to get swept up in the turmoil of life's stress, worry, anger, frustration, but in these moments, your energy is being consumed by negative emotions. These emotions cloud your judgment, distort your perception, and limit your ability to manifest the life you desire. The more you react emotionally to external situations, the more you reinforce the very patterns you wish to change. To gain control over your inner world, you must first practice self-awareness. Pay attention to the way you feel in any given moment. When you experience negative emotions such as fear, frustration, or anger, take a step back and observe these feelings without judgment. Recognize that these emotions are simply signals, not facts, and they do not have to dictate your actions. You have the power to choose your response, and in doing so, you change the direction of your life. Once you become aware of your emotions, you can begin to shift them. The most effective way to do this is through mindfulness and intentional breathing. When you feel yourself becoming overwhelmed by negative emotions, pause and take a deep breath. Allow your breath to center you, bringing you back to the present moment. As you breathe, focus on calming your mind and releasing the tension in your body. In this moment of stillness, you reconnect with your true self, a self that is calm, centered, and in control of its emotions. Mindfulness allows you to detach from the emotional storms that often arise in response to life's challenges. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with clarity, patience, and wisdom. This state of calm enables you to see the situation from a higher perspective, where you are no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You can observe the circumstances objectively and choose the best course of action from a place of inner peace. This shift in perspective is what allows you to command the situation effortlessly. When you are able to control your emotions, you also gain control over your energy. Emotions are magnetic; they attract experiences that mirror your emotional state. When you are calm and centered, you project an energy of stability and confidence, and the world around you responds in kind. People are drawn to your peaceful energy, and situations seem to unfold smoothly, as if by magic. On the other hand, when you are anxious or reactive, you attract more of the same chaos, confusion, and frustration. The ability to control your inner world also requires you to cultivate a sense of trust in the process of life. It is easy to become anxious or upset when things aren't going according to plan, but when you maintain inner calm, you recognize that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trusting the universe allows you to surrender the need to control everything, knowing that all is working together for your highest good. This trust removes the resistance that often arises when things don't go as expected, and it creates space for ease and flow to enter your life. It's important to remember that controlling your inner world is not about suppressing or ignoring your emotions. It's about understanding that your emotions are powerful tools that can either serve you or sabotage you. By taking charge of your emotional state, you become the master of your life. You stop being a passive participant in your circumstances and instead become the active creator of your reality. You begin to realize that you are not at the mercy of life's challenges, but that you have the power to rise above them with grace and poise. When you calm your mind and control your emotions, you step into a state of alignment where the universe conspires to bring your desires into fruition. You no longer chase after your goals, but instead you attract them effortlessly. The key to mastering your inner world lies in understanding that your thoughts and emotions are the creative forces behind the life you experience. By controlling them, you take command of your reality, shaping it into something that reflects your highest desires and intentions. In this state of emotional mastery, you become invincible, unaffected by external circumstances, and in perfect harmony with the flow of life. You can move through challenges with ease, and you will find that the situations that once seemed difficult become opportunities for growth and expansion. Your inner world, once calm and centered, becomes the fertile ground from which your dreams blossom into reality. There is a powerful yet often misunderstood law that governs our desires and the manifestation of our dreams. It is the law of reversal, a principle that states when you stop chasing after what you want, the energy flips and what you desire begins to pursue you. This concept challenges everything we have been taught about success, desire, and effort. In a world that constantly emphasizes hustle and striving, the law of reversal suggests that the key to manifesting your desires is not through forceful action but through releasing attachment and allowing the universe to respond to your energy. At first glance, the idea of stopping the chase may seem counterintuitive. We are conditioned to believe that in order to achieve anything in life, we must work tirelessly, fight for it, and constantly pursue our goals. The idea of letting go and trusting that things will come to us feels foreign, even uncomfortable. But the truth is, the more we chase after something, the more we actually push it away. This is because chasing is rooted in a mindset of lack and desperation. It signals to the universe that what we seek is outside of us, that we don't already have it, and that we are dependent on external circumstances to fulfill us. When you are in a state of chase, you are emotionally attached to the outcome. You are focused on the absence of what you want, which creates resistance. The energy of chasing is driven by fear, anxiety, and a sense of urgency. It is the belief that you need to act immediately in order to get what you desire. But in this mindset, you are disconnected from your true power, which is rooted in your ability to align with what you desire and allow it to come to you. The act of chasing reinforces a belief that you are not whole or complete without what you are pursuing, and this only strengthens the illusion of lack. The law of reversal asks you to release the need to chase. It calls for a shift in mindset from striving to receiving, from doing to being. When you let go of the need to chase, you are signaling to the universe that you already have everything you need within you. You are no longer desperate for external validation or approval. And in doing so, you tap into a deeper source of energy. This energy is not one of lack or need, but one of abundance and certainty. When you stop chasing, you enter a state of alignment with your desires. And it is from this place of alignment that you begin to attract everything you've been seeking. One of the key elements of the law of reversal is trust. Trust that what you desire is already on its way to you. The universe works in mysterious ways, and the moment you release control and surrender to the flow of life, you create the conditions for your desires to manifest. When you chase, you are trying to control the process, forcing things to happen on your timeline. But in reality, the universe operates on its own perfect timing. Trusting in this timing and allowing things to unfold naturally is the key to manifesting with ease. When you stop chasing, you also stop giving away your power. Chasing comes from a place of needing something outside of you to feel whole. But when you let go of the chase, you reclaim your power. You realize that you are the creator of your own reality, and everything you desire already exists within you. You stop giving away your energy to the pursuit of something that you believe you lack, and instead, you cultivate an inner sense of abundance and fulfillment. This inner peace and self-sufficiency is magnetic. The universe, seeing that you are complete and whole without needing anything external to validate you, begins to respond by bringing you exactly what you need, and often much more than you expected. The energy flip happens when you stop clinging to your desires. In doing so, you allow space for your desires to flow to you naturally. The more you release the need to control, the more you create an energetic vacuum that pulls what you want into your life. This shift from effort to ease allows you to align with your desires at a deeper level. Instead of constantly pursuing, you begin to trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. The moment you let go of the chase, you become a magnet for your desires, and they start to pursue you with an energy of their own. This law is not about passivity, it is about active surrender. It is about stepping back and allowing life to unfold with grace. It is about shifting your focus from external actions to inner alignment. When you stop chasing, you enter a state of flow, where things come to you effortlessly. It is not that you do nothing, but that you do things from a place of alignment and inspiration rather than desperation and need. When you embrace the law of reversal, you begin to see that the universe is always responding to your energy. Your desires are not distant dreams, but are already part of your reality, waiting for you to step into alignment with them. As soon as you stop chasing, you create the space for them to enter your life. The energy of what you want is drawn to you, And in this magnetic exchange, your desires are no longer something you have to chase, but something that pursues you. Self-worth is the foundation of a powerful and fulfilling life. It is the recognition of your inherent value, the understanding that you are deserving of all the good things that life has to offer. It is not based on what others think of you or how they treat you. Instead, it comes from within, rooted in the belief that you are worthy simply because you exist. When you embrace this truth, you stop seeking validation from the outside world, and instead, you begin to command respect without ever having to utter a word. This is the quiet power of knowing your worth, and it is non-negotiable. In a world that often conditions us to seek approval and chase external validation, it can be difficult to stand firm in our own self-worth. Many people live in a state of perpetual seeking, constantly trying to prove their value to others. They seek approval from friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers, hoping that their worth will be recognized. However, the truth is, your worth is not something that can be negotiated or contingent on others' opinions of you. It is inherent, and it cannot be compromised. When you truly understand and embrace this, you stop seeking others' validation, and instead you stand in your power. Stepping back is an important act in affirming your self-worth. When you step back from situations where you are being treated with less than respect, or where you feel your value is being questioned, you are sending a clear message not through words, but through your energy. By choosing not to engage in toxic interactions or situations that diminish your self-esteem, you are signaling to the world that you will not settle for less than what you deserve. This act of stepping back is a form of self-respect and self-love. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone because you know who you are and the value you bring to the world. When you step back, you are not retreating out of fear or weakness. Instead, you are reclaiming your space, asserting your boundaries, and demanding the respect that is rightfully yours. The most powerful people in the world understand the importance of stepping back. They don't chase after approval, they don't beg for respect, and they certainly don't tolerate disrespect. Instead, they focus inward, cultivating their self-worth, and when the time is right, they allow the world to recognize them for who they are. In this way, you never have to beg for respect because you automatically command it by simply being true to yourself. Affirming your worth through action is just as important as doing so through thought. When you value yourself, you don't tolerate situations or people that diminish your worth. This does not mean that you need to constantly announce your worth to the world, but rather you live in such a way that your presence alone demands respect. You understand that you are deserving of love, success, and happiness, and you no longer feel the need to explain why. Your actions, your energy, and your mindset will speak louder than any words ever could. Many people mistake silence for weakness, but in reality, silence can be one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. When you stop seeking approval and simply allow your self-worth to shine, others begin to take notice. You are no longer actively pursuing validation. Instead, you project confidence, strength, and inner peace. People will sense your energy and respect you not because you ask for it, but because you exude an aura of someone who knows their value. The world responds to your energy, and it treats you accordingly. It's important to understand that your worth is not dependent on how others perceive you. No one has the power to define your value except you. When you seek validation from others, you are giving away your power and allowing someone else to dictate your worth. But when you choose to step back and remain centered in your own self-belief, you become impervious to the opinions of others. Their judgments no longer affect you because you know that they are not a reflection of your true value. Your self-worth is non-negotiable. It is not something that can be compromised, bargained for, or earned. It is intrinsic, and once you recognize and embody this truth, you will no longer tolerate anything that diminishes your value. When you step back and stop chasing after validation or approval, you send a powerful message to the world: I am enough, just as I am. I do not need to prove myself to anyone in this space of self-assuredness. You attract the respect, love, and opportunities that align with your worth. By stepping back, you are also giving yourself the space to grow and evolve. You no longer feel the need to seek external validation to measure your success. Instead, you set your own standards, and you measure your worth based on your inner peace, your integrity, and your ability to stand true to who you are. This inner strength and confidence will radiate from you, and those around you will naturally respect you because they recognize that you do not tolerate anything less than the best. When you truly believe that your self-worth is non-negotiable, you no longer waste time on people or situations that do not serve your highest good. You surround yourself with those who see and appreciate your value, and you let go of anything that does not align with your worth. You command respect simply by being yourself, and your energy becomes the most powerful testament to your self-worth. No words are needed. Your presence alone says it all. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant communication, it is often difficult to truly understand the intentions of those around us. Yet one of the most powerful tools for discerning the truth about people and situations lies in the ability to remain silent and observe. When you choose silence, you step out of the whirlwind of words and actions, creating space for deeper insights. Silence, far from being a passive state, is an active power that enables you to see the underlying motivations and intentions of others, allowing you to understand the truth beneath the surface. In the rush to communicate and be understood, we often miss the subtler cues that reveal the true nature of a situation. We focus on what is being said and overlook the energy behind the words, the body language, and the subtle behaviors that communicate far more than the words ever could. By embracing silence, you remove yourself from the immediate reactionary responses and allowing yourself to truly witness the interaction in its entirety. This heightened awareness, this space of observation, opens up a world of clarity and understanding. When you observe quietly, without the need to respond, defend, or react, you create an opportunity for people to reveal their true selves. In many cases, when people are speaking, their words are shaped by external influences, their own insecurities, or their desire to be perceived a certain way. But in silence, when the focus shifts away from words and toward presence, individuals often let their guard down. They become less concerned with impressing or convincing you, and their true intentions are more likely to surface. Silence creates a reflective space, one where people can no longer rely on their usual patterns of behavior to mask their feelings or intentions. This power of observation goes beyond merely noticing what others say or do. It involves paying attention to the energy behind their actions. Are they speaking out of love and respect, or are they seeking to manipulate or control? Are their actions aligned with their words, or is there a disconnect between what they say and what they do? By being silent and fully present, you can pick up on these subtle signals and gain insight into the true nature of the relationship or situation at hand. Silence also works as a mirror. When you remain silent, you give others the opportunity to reflect on their own behavior. People often act in ways that they may not fully recognize as harmful or misguided, and it is in the quiet space you create that they can begin to question their own actions. This reflection can be uncomfortable, but it is essential for growth and self-awareness. The power of silence is that it forces people to face the truth of their behavior without the distraction of your words or reactions. In this space, they may realize the impact of their actions on you, and in doing so, they may adjust their behavior accordingly. By observing without reacting, you also create a safe distance from the emotional turbulence that others may try to stir. Emotional reactions are often the result of a lack of control over one's own feelings. When you choose silence, you step outside of that emotional vortex and look at the situation objectively. You can see things clearly and dispassionately, without the cloud of emotional responses clouding your judgment. This clarity allows you to make better decisions about how to proceed, whether that means setting boundaries, walking away, or simply accepting things for what they are. Silence also allows you to build a stronger connection with yourself. When you step back from the noise of external interactions, you reconnect with your own thoughts, feelings, and intuition. In this quiet space, you can listen to your inner voice, which has often been drowned out by the hustle and bustle of daily life. By observing both the people around you and your own inner state, you gain a deeper understanding of what is truly important to you and what is aligned with your values. You develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and confidence in your ability to navigate the complexities of relationships and situations. The power of observation through silence is not only about seeing others more clearly, but also about seeing yourself more clearly. It is through this practice that you become more attuned to your own needs, desires, and boundaries. When you observe and reflect rather than react, you allow yourself to make choices based on what is best for your well-being and growth. You are no longer swayed by the immediate reactions or judgments of others, but instead make decisions from a place of strength and clarity. This practice of silence and observation also extends beyond personal relationships. It can be applied in the workplace, in social settings, and in any situation where you wish to gain a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play. In business, for instance, silence can help you read between the lines of a conversation, revealing hidden agendas or unspoken concerns. By observing how people act in different situations and how they treat others, you can better assess their true character and intentions. This allows you to navigate complex social and professional environments with wisdom and discernment. Silence is not a tool for avoidance or passivity. Rather, it is a means of actively engaging with the world from a place of clarity and strength. By stepping back and observing, you allow the truth to emerge both from others and from within yourself. In the silence, you find the power to see through the surface-level interactions and uncover the deeper motivations and intentions at play. This not only empowers you to make more informed decisions, but it also allows you to protect your energy, maintain your integrity, and build stronger, more authentic relationships. In conclusion, the power of silence and observation offers a profound opportunity for self-awareness and clarity in every interaction. By stepping back and observing without the need to react or engage immediately, you allow yourself to see beyond words and actions, understanding the true intentions behind them. This practice strengthens your sense of self-worth and helps you navigate complex situations with wisdom and discernment. It empowers you to build authentic connections, make decisions rooted in your values, and protect your energy from being manipulated or swayed by external forces. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on the power of silence and observation. May you continue to use this quiet strength to enhance your relationships, gain deeper insights, and move through life with clarity and confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, for a moment and breathe deeply. Feel the stillness that exists within you, for it is there that your true power lies. You have been taught to run, to strive, to push against the flow of life. But let me remind you of a profound truth. That which is meant for you cannot outrun you, and that which is not cannot be forced into your life. Forcing is resistance. It is a signal that you doubt the natural flow of your life. When you force, you create tension within yourself and your reality. The things that truly belong to you will unfold without struggle. Like water that flows effortlessly around obstacles, your life moves with grace when you trust and release control. Settling is the denial of your worth. It is telling yourself that you are unworthy of more, that you cannot have what you truly desire. But know this, the universe reflects your inner beliefs. When you settle for less, you create a reality of less. Refuse to settle. For your desires are not random, they are whispers from the divine, guiding you toward what is meant for you. The greatest tragedy is not failure, it is giving up just before the breakthrough. Your desires are seeds planted in the soil of your imagination, but every seed requires time to grow. Do not dig up what you have planted with doubt and impatience. Trust that it is growing, even if you cannot see it yet. Understand this, the journey is not about getting but becoming. When you embody the energy of what you seek, the world rearranges itself to reflect that state. There is no need to chase, for you are magnetic. There is no need to force, for the current of life carries you. There is no need to settle, for your worth is infinite. And there is no need to quit, for your destiny is assured. Hold this truth in your heart, everything you desire is already yours, waiting for you to claim it, not by force, but by faith. Let go of the chase, surrender the need to control, and allow your life to unfold in perfect harmony. For a moment and reflect on this simple truth: your outer world is but a mirror of your inner state. Every circumstance, relationship, and experience you encounter is a reflection of the thoughts and emotions you consistently hold within. There is no need to chase what is already destined for you, because the act of chasing is rooted in the belief that what you desire is absent. This belief, when held persistently, becomes your reality. But what if you shifted your focus inward? What if, instead of pursuing, you began aligning yourself with the feeling of already having what you seek? Imagine for a moment that your desires are like seeds planted in the soil of your imagination. These seeds do not require frantic effort or constant worry to grow. They need faith, attention, and the proper environment. In this case, the environment is your inner world, the thoughts you entertain, and the emotions you dwell upon. When your inner state vibrates with lack or desperation, you create resistance. It's like digging up the soil every day to check if the seed is growing. In doing so, you disrupt the natural process of growth and delay the very thing you want. But when you align your thoughts and feelings with the state of already having what you desire, you water the seed with faith and patience. This alignment is not about pretending or wishful thinking. It is about knowing that the unseen forces at work are real, and that your imagination is the blueprint for your reality. Every feeling you cultivate is a silent instruction to the universe. When you feel abundant, you invite abundance. When you feel loved, you draw love. The external world has no choice but to reflect the vibration you carry within. The error most people make is in thinking that effort alone can bring about their desires. They chase, they push, and they force, believing that action is the sole determinant of results. But action, when taken from a place of misalignment, only leads to frustration. Chasing implies that you are separate from what you want, and this very belief creates a barrier. The harder you run after something, the more it eludes you. Think of a butterfly. If you chase it, it flutters away. But if you sit still and allow it, the butterfly comes and rests on your shoulder. This principle applies to every area of your life. If you are seeking love, do not look for it in others while feeling unloved within. Instead, cultivate the feeling of love in yourself. You become the person who is already cherished, valued, and adored, and you will naturally attract relationships that mirror this state. If you desire wealth, do not dwell on thoughts of scarcity or complain about what you lack. Feel the joy of abundance within, as though it is already yours, and the opportunities and resources you need will align effortlessly. The truth is, you are not here to control the universe. You are here to work in harmony with it. Life is always unfolding for your highest good, even when it doesn't appear that way. Every delay, detour, and obstacle serves a purpose, guiding you towards something greater than you can presently imagine. Forcing implies mistrust in this divine orchestration. It is as if you're saying, "I know better than the infinite intelligence that governs all things." But when you step back and allow, you make space for miracles. You open the door for solutions and outcomes that surpass anything you could have planned or forced into being. Allowing does not mean passivity or inaction. It means taking inspired action that arises naturally from a place of alignment. When you force something, your energy is fragmented and chaotic, and the results reflect that. But when you are in alignment, your actions are purposeful, efficient, and in harmony with the flow of life. Think of a river. It does not force its way to the ocean. It follows the path of least resistance, winding around obstacles, carving its way effortlessly through rock and soil. Its power lies in its flow, not in force. The same principle applies to your desires and intentions. When you force something, a relationship, a career move, or even a small goal, you send a message of doubt and scarcity to the universe. You are, in essence, saying, "I don't believe this can happen naturally, so I must make it happen." This energy repels what you want, creating delays and frustrations. On the other hand, when you allow, you trust that the universe knows the perfect timing and the best path for you. You relax into the knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Forcing also limits possibilities. When you fixate on one specific outcome and try to make it happen, you close yourself off to the infinite ways in which your desires could manifest. You become blind to opportunities and synchronicities that might lead to something even better. Allowing opens you up to these possibilities. It creates a state of receptivity, where you can recognize and act on the subtle nudges and signs that guide you toward your highest good. True power lies in allowing because it comes from a place of inner certainty. When you allow, you are rooted in faith, not fear. You understand that your role is not to make things happen but to align with them, to become a vibrational match for what you desire. You trust that the same force that moves the stars and seasons also moves your life, and you surrender to its wisdom. This does not mean there won't be challenges or moments of doubt. But even in those moments, you have the choice to let go of force and return to flow. To pause, breathe, and remind yourself that all is unfolding as it should. The universe is not in a hurry, and neither should you be. What is meant for you will find its way to you in the most beautiful and unexpected ways when you release the need to control. So let go of the struggle. Stop trying to force the river to flow faster or in a direction it was never meant to go. Trust the current, trust yourself, and trust the unseen forces that are always working in your favor. When you allow, you become one with the flow of life, and in that flow you will find everything you've ever desired and more. There is a quiet yet powerful truth: when you settle for less than you deserve, you diminish your own worth. Settling is not merely about making a compromise, it is a signal to the universe that you do not believe you are worthy of more. It is a reflection of an inner dialogue that whispers, "This is all I can have," or "I am not enough," but these whispers are lies born from fear, doubt, or past wounds. To accept less is to turn away from the abundance that is your birthright. You must honor yourself first, for the world will always treat you as you teach it to. Settling stems from a lack of belief in your own value. Perhaps you've been conditioned to think that you should be grateful for whatever you get, even if it doesn't fulfill you. Or maybe you fear that asking for more will leave you with nothing. These fears create a cycle of accepting what is easy, convenient, or familiar, even when it doesn't align with your highest good. But what you settle for today becomes the standard you set for yourself tomorrow. And the longer you remain in a state of settling, the harder it becomes to rise to the level of what you truly deserve. Your worth is not determined by external circumstances or the opinions of others. It is intrinsic, unchanging, and infinite. Yet, recognizing your worth requires a conscious decision to see yourself as valuable and deserving of the best life has to offer. This recognition begins within. It is not about arrogance or entitlement, but about a quiet confidence that says, "I am enough. I am worthy." When you honor this truth, you create a foundation of self-respect that shapes every choice you make. Settling diminishes this foundation. When you accept a relationship that doesn't fulfill you, a job that drains you, or a situation that compromises your values, you send a message to yourself and the universe that you are willing to live below your potential. This message ripples outward, attracting more of the same. But the moment you decide to stop settling, you shift your vibration. You reclaim your power, and the universe responds in kind. Honoring yourself means having the courage to walk away from what does not serve you, even if it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. It means saying no to what is less than what you deserve, not out of anger or bitterness, but from a place of self-love. When you honor yourself, you make room for what is truly aligned with your heart and soul. You open the door for relationships, opportunities, and experiences that uplift and inspire you. This is not to say that the journey will always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, where the temptation to settle arises. You may question whether you are asking for too much or fear that nothing better will come along. But in these moments, remind yourself of the truth: you are always worthy of more. The universe is abundant, and there is no limit to what you can receive when you align with your own value. Honoring yourself also requires patience. It is a practice of trust, trusting that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and that waiting for the best is always worth it. Patience is not passivity, it is active faith. It is choosing to hold out for what truly aligns with your vision, even when the immediate options seem easier. This faith sends a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive all that you desire without compromise. The most profound relationships and opportunities arise when you are aligned with your true worth. When you honor yourself, you become a magnet for the best that life has to offer. People who see your value will naturally gravitate toward you, and situations that reflect your worth will unfold effortlessly. But it begins with you. No one else can set the standard for your life. That is your responsibility. So let go of the fear that tells you to settle. Release the belief that what you want is too much to ask for. Stand firm in the knowledge that you deserve the best simply because you exist. When you honor yourself, you teach the world how to honor you. And when you believe in your own value, you unlock a life filled with abundance, joy, and fulfillment beyond measure. Patience is the cornerstone of all creation, the silent force that nurtures every seed of intention until it blooms. To quit, to walk away from your dreams before they come to fruition, is to deny the very manifestation you set into motion. It's like planting a seed, watering it for a while, and then digging it up in frustration because you cannot see the sprout. But growth is happening, even if it's not immediately visible. The unseen work beneath the soil is what gives life to the eventual bloom. Quitting interrupts this divine process, severing the connection between your desire and its manifestation. Every thought, every intention, every dream you hold is a seed. When you commit to it, you place it into the fertile soil of the universe. But like any seed, it needs time to grow. There is a natural rhythm to creation, a gestation period that cannot be rushed. Patience is not passive, it is active faith. It is the unwavering belief that what you've sown will emerge in its perfect time, even when the outer world shows no evidence. To quit, then, is to forsake this faith and abandon the very process that was working in your favor. The temptation to quit often arises in moments of doubt and frustration. You may feel as though nothing is happening, as though your efforts are in vain. But this is an illusion. Just as a seed must break through the darkness of the soil before it reaches the light, your desires must go through an invisible process of alignment and preparation. The energy of creation is always at work, even when you cannot see it. To quit is to disregard this unseen progress, to lose sight of the truth that every action and intention is contributing to your ultimate goal. The manifestation requires more than just patience, it demands trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the universe's timing. Often the very moment you feel like giving up is the moment when your desire is closest to becoming reality. This is because the energy of manifestation intensifies as it nears completion, and with it, the challenges and doubts may also rise. But these are not signs to quit, they are signs to persist. They are tests of your commitment, asking whether you truly believe in what you set out to create. When you quit, you abandon the potential that was already unfolding. You deny the possibility of the bloom, cutting short the journey before it reaches its destination. But persistence, even in the face of uncertainty, keeps the energy alive. It sends a message to the universe that you are unwavering in your belief, that you are willing to wait and trust until the moment of fruition. This steadfastness aligns you with the frequency of your desire, making its manifestation inevitable. Quitting also stems from a lack of connection to the deeper why behind your dreams. When your purpose is clear, when your vision is fueled by passion and alignment, it becomes easier to endure the waiting period. The energy of your why sustains you through the moments when progress feels slow or non-existent. It reminds you that every great creation requires time and that your role is to remain faithful to the process. The act of quitting often comes from impatience, which is born from a focus on external results rather than internal alignment. When you shift your focus inward toward the belief that you are already aligned with your desire, you free yourself from the need to see immediate outcomes. You come to understand that the process itself is just as important as the result, and in this understanding, patience becomes natural. So do not let frustration or doubt rob you of your manifestation. Trust in the process. Trust that the seed you've planted is growing, even if you cannot yet see it. Commit to nurturing it with your belief, your patience, and your unwavering resolve. For every seed has the potential to blossom, but only if you allow it the time and space to do so. When you refuse to quit, you honor the divine timing of creation and open yourself to the abundant rewards that await. Life is a continuous process of unfolding, guided by unseen forces that work tirelessly in your favor. Yet trusting this process often requires a leap of faith, for the outcomes you seek may not be immediately visible. This trust, however, is the foundation of all creation. It is not blind optimism, but a deep, unshakable knowing that life is orchestrating events, circumstances, and opportunities to align with your highest good. To trust the process of unfolding means to let go of the need for immediate results and to rest in the assurance that everything is happening exactly as it should. The belief is the key to unlocking this trust. Many live by the adage, "I'll believe it when I see it," but the truth is the opposite. You must first believe it to see it. Your belief sets the stage for what unfolds in your life. It shapes your perceptions, aligns your energy, and creates a pathway for the unseen to become seen. Trusting the process, then, is an act of belief, a declaration that even without visible evidence, you know that all things are working together for your good. This trust does not mean passivity. It is not about sitting idly by waiting for life to happen to you. Instead, it is about active faith, taking inspired action while releasing the need to control every detail. When you trust the process, you step into a dance with the universe, allowing its rhythm to guide you. You plant seeds of intention, nurture them with your energy and focus, and then step back to let nature take its course. This balance between effort and surrender is where true power lies. The process of unfolding often takes you through phases of uncertainty. You may find yourself in the middle of a situation that feels unclear or even chaotic. In these moments, it can be tempting to doubt the process, to question whether things are truly working in your favor. But consider the caterpillar in its cocoon. From the outside, the transformation appears messy, even stagnant. Yet within, a miraculous process is taking place. The same is true for you. Even when the path seems uncertain, trust that growth and alignment are happening beneath the surface. This trust requires patience. In a world that celebrates instant gratification, waiting can feel like an act of resistance. But the greatest creations take time. Just as a tree does not grow overnight, neither do the dreams and desires you hold within. Trusting the process means honoring the timing of life, understanding that delays are not denials but divine alignments. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to strengthen your belief, refine your vision, and prepare yourself for what is to come. Doubt is the greatest enemy of trust. It creeps in when the visible world does not match your expectations, whispering that your efforts are in vain. But doubt is merely a reflection of the ego's fear of the unknown. When you trust the process, you quiet these doubts by shifting your focus inward. You remind yourself that the unseen forces guiding your life are far more powerful than any temporary setback. This inner assurance allows you to move forward with confidence, even when the outcome is not yet clear. Trusting the process also involves releasing the need for control. The human mind often seeks to dictate every step of the journey, thinking that control ensures success. But true trust recognizes that there is a higher intelligence at work, one that sees the bigger picture and knows the best path to your desired outcome. When you let go of the need to micromanage your life, you make space for this intelligence to operate. You become a co-creator with the universe, allowing its wisdom to lead you to greater heights than you could imagine on your own. This trust transforms your perspective. When you believe that life is always working in your favor, you begin to see challenges as opportunities, delays as preparation, and detours as necessary steps toward your destination. You no longer resist the unfolding but embrace it, knowing that every experience, whether joyous or difficult, is part of the grand design. This mindset not only brings peace, but also accelerates the manifestation of your desires as your energy aligns with the flow of life. Trusting the process of unfolding is about surrendering to the magic of life. It is about believing that the universe is benevolent, that your dreams are valid, and that every step you take is leading you closer to their realization. You don't need to see the entire path to take the next step. You don't need to see the evidence to believe in the outcome. When you trust the process, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. You step into a state of flow, where the unseen becomes seen and your life unfolds perfectly, exactly as it was meant to. The true transformation begins with the realization that your reality does not shape who you are. Instead, who you are shapes your reality. Many people fixate on the external on getting, acquiring, or achieving, but the real power lies in becoming. When you embody the state of the person who already possesses everything they desire, the world must conform to reflect that inner state. The secret to manifestation is not in chasing after outcomes, but in aligning your identity with your vision. This shift from getting to becoming is the key to unlocking the life you dream of. The essence of becoming lies in alignment. To embody a desired state means to think, feel, and act as though you are already living that reality. This isn't about pretending or creating a facade, it's about stepping into the energy of the person you wish to be. When you internalize this state, you send out a powerful signal to the universe. This energy draws experiences, people, and circumstances that align with your new identity. The external world, then, is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your inner transformation. Focusing on getting implies lack. It creates a sense of separation between you and what you desire, reinforcing the belief that you do not yet have it. This belief keeps you stuck in a cycle of wanting and striving. But when you shift your focus to becoming, you step into a state of wholeness and abundance. You no longer operate from a place of need, but from a place of fulfillment. This subtle yet profound difference is what turns intentions into manifestations. Becoming requires a deep commitment to self-concept. You must ask yourself, who is the version of me that already has what I desire? How does this version think, act, and feel? What choices do they make, and what habits do they cultivate? By aligning your present actions and thoughts with this future version of yourself, you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This process isn't about forcing change, but about allowing it to unfold naturally as you step into your new identity. It's essential to recognize that becoming is a state of being, not doing. Many people equate effort with results, believing that more action will lead to their desired outcomes. But true alignment doesn't come from endless striving, it comes from embodying the energy of your desires. When you feel abundant, opportunities for abundance flow to you effortlessly. When you feel loved, relationships that reflect that love appear in your life. The universe responds to who you are, not what you do. This shift from getting to becoming also requires letting go of attachment to outcomes. When you focus solely on getting, you often tie your happiness to a specific result. This attachment creates resistance, as it signals to the universe that you are incomplete without the thing you desire. But when you focus on becoming, you step into a state of trust and detachment. You understand that the external manifestation is simply a byproduct of your inner state, not the source of your fulfillment. This trust allows the universe to deliver in ways that are often beyond your imagination. The practice of becoming also brings a sense of empowerment. When you rely on external circumstances to feel a certain way, you give away your power. But when you embody your desired state, you take control of your reality. You no longer wait for the world to change, you change yourself, and the world follows. This realization frees you from the limitations of circumstance and places the power firmly in your hands. Becoming is not an overnight process, it is a journey of self-discovery and alignment. It requires consistent awareness of your thoughts and emotions, as well as a willingness to release old patterns that no longer serve you. Every time you consciously choose to embody the state of your desired self, you strengthen your alignment and bring yourself closer to your vision. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and your external reality begins to shift to match your inner state. The power of becoming lies in its simplicity. Instead of chasing after things, you focus on embodying the essence of what you desire. You become the person who already has it, and in doing so, you attract it effortlessly. This process is not about adding something to your life, but about uncovering the truth that everything you desire is already within you. When you align with this truth, the world cannot help but reflect it back to you. You are no longer a seeker, you are a creator, shaping your reality from the inside out. The essence of this journey lies in alignment, trust, and becoming. Instead of chasing after outcomes, forcing circumstances, settling for less, or quitting in frustration, we are invited to step into a higher understanding of creation. Life is not something to be manipulated or controlled, it is a reflection of who we are within. By focusing on becoming the person who already has what they desire, trusting the process, and embodying patience, we unlock the power to shape our reality. Every thought, emotion, and action serves as a seed for the life we are creating. The key is to honor yourself, believe in your worth, and allow the unseen forces to work in your favor. Trust that the unfolding of your life is divinely orchestrated, even when you cannot yet see the results. You are the creator of your reality, and when you align with your true self, the world will mirror your inner transformation. Thank you for allowing this message to resonate within you. Trust the process, embody your desires, and remember that everything you seek is already seeking you.
Let me tell you something straight. In this life, hesitation is the thief of greatness. Too many people sit on the sidelines, not because they lack talent, but because they are too shy to step into the spotlight. But not you. After today, you're leaving all that hesitation behind. Dreams are the seeds of greatness. Yet so many of us are too timid to say them out loud, as if speaking them will make them any less real. Let me tell you right now, your dreams are valid. Don't let anyone convince you that aiming high is arrogance. Speak your dreams with pride, because the world only makes room for those bold enough to declare their intentions. There's no shame in needing a hand. We weren't made to walk this road alone. Asking for help is not weakness, it's wisdom. Whether it's seeking advice from a mentor or leaning on a friend during tough times, don't let pride or shyness rob you of the strength found in unity. Truth can be uncomfortable, but it's always powerful. Don't shy away from who you are or what you believe. Stand firm in your convictions, even when it feels like the world is trying to shake you. Your truth is your foundation. It's not something to hide, it's something to build on. The world doesn't benefit from you playing small. You've worked hard, sacrificed, and overcome. So when it's your time to shine, don't dim your light. Celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small. When you embrace your own greatness, you give others permission to do the same. Now hear me when I say this. Life is too short to tiptoe around the things that matter. Be bold. Speak loudly. Stand tall. The next time shyness tries to creep in, remember this greatness doesn't hide, it stands proud and unapologetic. Your voice is more than just a tool for communication, it is your power, your identity, and the bridge between your thoughts and the world around you. Yet, so many of us choose to stay silent when it matters most. We bite our tongues in meetings, keep our ideas locked away in fear of rejection, or shy away from speaking up for ourselves because we worry about judgment. But let me tell you something, silence often buries opportunities. When you hold back your voice, you deny yourself the chance to shape your reality. Words have weight. They have the power to inspire, to challenge, and to create change. Every great movement in history began with someone daring to speak. Every significant relationship thrives because of open and honest communication. Every missed opportunity often traces back to the words we were too afraid to say. Silence is comfortable. It feels safe. It avoids confrontation and shields us from vulnerability. But comfort is not where growth lies. When you refuse to speak your truth, you not only rob yourself of opportunities, but also deprive the world of the unique perspective you bring. There are ideas, thoughts, and solutions that only you can offer. Imagine the countless doors that remain closed simply because you chose not to knock. But let's address the fear behind silence because it's real. Speaking up often feels like stepping into the unknown. You might wonder, what if they don't agree? What if I'm misunderstood? What if my words aren't enough? These fears are valid, but they must not define you. Growth happens when you push through that fear, knowing that your voice carries value regardless of the outcome. The truth is, not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone will embrace your ideas or opinions. But that's not the point. The point is to be authentic, to stand by your convictions, and to give yourself the freedom to be heard. Your voice is also a reflection of your self-worth. When you choose to speak up, you are saying, I matter. My thoughts matter. My experiences matter. And that self-affirmation has a ripple effect. It teaches others to respect your presence and acknowledge your contributions. It encourages them to listen and perhaps even reflect on their own silence. Think about the moments in your life when you did speak up. Maybe you advocated for yourself in a challenging situation. Maybe you shared an idea that transformed a project or a relationship. Maybe you defended someone who couldn't defend themselves. How did that feel? It felt powerful because it was powerful. Every time you use your voice, you reclaim a piece of your power and strengthen the belief that you are capable of shaping your world. But this isn't just about you. Speaking your truth also creates space for others to do the same. When you lead by example, you inspire those around you to step out of their own shadows of silence. It becomes a collective act of courage, a reminder that every voice matters in the grand symphony of life. Now, this doesn't mean you have to speak loudly or aggressively to be heard. Power doesn't come from volume, it comes from authenticity. It comes from speaking with clarity, intention, and confidence in what you believe. Even a whisper can move mountains when it carries conviction. So the next time you feel the urge to stay quiet, ask yourself, what opportunities am I burying by holding back? Whether it's an idea, a need, or a boundary, your voice is the key to unlocking possibilities. It's the difference between being a spectator in your own life and being an active participant. The world is full of noise, but it's the voices that carry truth and purpose that rise above it. Don't let fear or doubt silence you. Speak your truth, because your voice is your power. Life is not a passive experience, it is an active pursuit of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Too often, people go through their days quietly waiting, hoping that the blessings they desire will somehow find them. They tell themselves that being patient and keeping their heads down is the way to go. But life does not hand out rewards to the timid. It honors those who step forward boldly and claim what is rightfully theirs. Asking for what you deserve is not about entitlement, it is about recognition of your worth and the courage to act on it. So many people hold themselves back, not because they lack talent or potential, but because they fear rejection. They convince themselves that they are asking for too much, or that they haven't yet earned the right to want more. But let's be clear, playing small will not make your dreams any closer to reality. If you do not ask, you will not receive. This doesn't just apply to material success or professional achievements. It's about every area of your life: relationships, opportunities, respect, and even the way you allow yourself to be treated. Think about it. How many times have you settled for less than you deserved because you were too afraid to ask for more? Maybe it was a promotion you didn't pursue, a boundary you didn't enforce, or a dream you didn't chase. Each time you hold back, you send a message to the world and to yourself that you are okay with less than you deserve. Now, let's talk about what it takes to ask for what you deserve. It begins with belief in your value, your abilities, and your right to receive the abundance life has to offer. This belief is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is the key to asking boldly. When you truly understand your worth, it becomes impossible to settle for scraps. You recognize that your time, energy, and talents are precious, and you refuse to waste them on anything that doesn't honor your potential. But belief alone is not enough. Action is where the transformation happens. Asking for what you deserve requires courage, because the answer might not always be yes. There will be times when people say no, when doors close, or when you face criticism for being too ambitious. But understand this rejection is not failure, it is redirection. Every time you step forward and ask, you are planting a seed of possibility. Even if the immediate answer is no, you are building the habit of advocating for yourself, and that habit will eventually lead to success. One of the greatest obstacles to asking boldly is the fear of being perceived as selfish or demanding. Society often teaches us to be humble, to avoid making waves, and to accept what we are given. But humility does not mean shrinking yourself. It does not mean denying your desires or settling for mediocrity. True humility is knowing your worth and carrying yourself with quiet confidence. It is understanding that asking for what you deserve is not just about you. It's about honoring the gifts you have been given and using them to create impact. The blessings you seek are often closer than you think, but they require action to be unlocked. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, negotiating for better pay, or setting boundaries in a relationship, the act of asking sends a powerful message to the universe: I am ready. It shows that you are willing to step out of your comfort zone and claim the life you envision for yourself. You have to understand that the world doesn't owe you anything. No one is going to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. But when you show up boldly, when you ask with conviction and persistence, life responds. It may not happen overnight, but each time you ask, you are aligning yourself with the opportunities and outcomes you desire. So, don't be timid. Don't wait for permission or validation. You are deserving of the life you want, but it's up to you to claim it. Ask for what you deserve, not with arrogance, but with the unwavering belief that you are worthy. Life will meet you at the level of your courage. Make sure you're asking boldly enough for it to hear you. Every person on this planet is unique, carrying a combination of qualities, experiences, and perspectives that no one else has. Yet, in a world that often pressures us to conform, it's easy to forget that our uniqueness is not a flaw, it's our greatest strength. The very things that set you apart, the things that make you different, are what give you the power to make an impact. Authenticity is your superpower, and there is no need to apologize for being yourself. Think about it: how much energy do people waste trying to fit into molds that were never made for them? They suppress their quirks, hide their opinions, and mimic others in the hope of gaining acceptance. But in doing so, they lose the spark that makes them special. Pretending to be someone else may win approval, but it will never bring fulfillment. True joy comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all, and living in alignment with your values and passions. Being authentic doesn't mean you're perfect, it means you're real. It's about owning your story, the highs and the lows, and letting go of the need to please everyone. When you show up as your true self, you attract the right people and opportunities into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you are will gravitate toward you, while those who don't align with your authenticity will naturally fall away. This is not a loss, it's liberation. Embracing your uniqueness is also a form of self-respect. It's saying to the world, I am enough just as I am. When you stop apologizing for being yourself, you create space to explore your potential fully. You stop hiding your talents out of fear of judgment. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. And most importantly, you give yourself permission to thrive. But let's be honest, embracing your uniqueness isn't always easy. Society often rewards conformity and punishes difference. People may criticize or misunderstand you when you choose to stand out. This can be intimidating, but remember, the opinions of others do not define your worth. The discomfort of being judged is temporary, but the regret of not being true to yourself can last a lifetime. It's important to understand that your uniqueness doesn't just serve you, it serves the world. You bring something to the table that no one else can. Your perspective, your creativity, and your experiences contribute to the richness of the human story. Imagine how many innovations, works of art, or breakthroughs would be lost if everyone suppressed their individuality. By embracing your uniqueness, you become a force for diversity, growth, and progress. Of course, there will be times when you feel the temptation to conform, to tone down who you are to avoid standing out. In those moments, remind yourself that authenticity is not just a choice, it's a commitment. It's a promise to honor your journey, your values, and your dreams. And while it may not always be the easiest path, it is the most rewarding. Celebrate the things that make you different, no matter how small they seem. Whether it's your sense of humor, your way of thinking, or your personal style, these are the elements that make you irreplaceable. Lean into them, use them, share them with the world. Because when you embrace your authenticity, you're not just living for yourself, you're giving others permission to do the same. So stand tall in who you are, speak your truth, chase your passions, and never apologize for being uniquely, beautifully, and unapologetically you. Your authenticity is your superpower, and the world needs it now more than ever. In a world where opinions shift like the wind and people often compromise their beliefs for the sake of convenience or approval, standing firm in your values is an act of courage. It requires conviction to stay true to what you believe in, especially when those beliefs are challenged or unpopular. But this isn't arrogance, it's strength, the kind of strength that defines your character and shapes your path in life. Your values are the foundation of who you are. They reflect what you hold dear, what you prioritize, and what you stand for. When you compromise on those values, even in small ways, you begin to drift away from your authentic self. Each time you say yes to something that goes against your beliefs or ignore that inner voice urging you to stand your ground, you weaken the trust you have in yourself. Over time, this leads to regret, frustration, and a sense of disconnect from your true purpose. Strength is not about being rigid or unyielding. It's about having clarity in what matters most to you and the courage to live by it, even when it's hard. It's easy to stand by your values when life is going smoothly or when others agree with you. The real test comes when circumstances push you to compromise, when staying true to your principles costs you an opportunity, a relationship, or approval from others. In those moments, it's essential to remind yourself that your integrity is worth far more than temporary comfort. Standing firm in your values doesn't mean you won't face resistance. People might misunderstand you, criticize you, or try to persuade you to change your stance. This can be uncomfortable, even painful, but remember, their opinions do not define you. Strength comes from within, not from external validation. When you stay rooted in what you believe, you cultivate a sense of self-respect that no one can take away. Being true to your values also has a ripple effect. It inspires others to reflect on their own principles and encourages them to live authentically. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are, they are individuals who stood firm in their beliefs, even in the face of adversity. Their unwavering commitment to their values likely left a lasting impression on you. By staying true to yourself, you have the power to be that kind of influence for others. It's important to understand that standing firm in your values doesn't mean you're unwilling to grow or learn. True strength includes the ability to listen, to understand other perspectives, and to evolve. But growth should never come at the expense of your core principles. There is a difference between being open-minded and being easily swayed. The former is a sign of wisdom, while the latter often stems from a lack of confidence in your own beliefs. Living by your values also requires self-awareness. You need to be clear about what you stand for and why. Take time to reflect on what matters most to you. What are the non-negotiables in your life? What are the guiding principles that shape your decisions and actions? Once you have clarity, it becomes much easier to navigate life's challenges without losing yourself. There will be times when standing firm in your values feels lonely. You may look around and see others taking easier paths or making choices that contradict what you believe is right. In those moments, remind yourself that integrity is not about taking the easy route, it's about staying true to your inner compass. The rewards of living authentically far outweigh the temporary discomfort of standing alone. Strength rooted in values is the kind of strength that lasts. It gives you the confidence to face challenges, the courage to make tough decisions, and the resilience to overcome setbacks. It ensures that no matter what life throws your way, you remain grounded in who you are. Never apologize for being true to your beliefs. It's not arrogance to stand firm in your values. It's the highest form of respect for yourself and for the life you're creating. By living with integrity, you build a legacy that not only honors your principles but also inspires others to do the same. Let your values be your anchor, your guide, and your source of unwavering strength. There's a special kind of magic in passion, a light that radiates from within and has the power to illuminate not only your own life but also the lives of those around you. Passion is what gives life depth and meaning. It's the energy that fuels creativity, the drive behind ambition, and the force that moves mountains. Yet so many people hesitate to express their passions, fearing judgment, failure, or the vulnerability of showing their truest selves. But hiding your light only dims the room. Letting your passion shine is not just a gift to yourself, it's a gift to the world. When you suppress your passions, you deny yourself the joy of fully experiencing life. Passion is not something to be buried or tamed. It's meant to be expressed, shared, and celebrated. It's the spark that ignites purpose and gives direction. Whether it's a love for art, an ambition to start a business, a desire to help others, or a fascination with learning, your passions are a reflection of your soul's calling. Ignoring them or hiding them away out of fear or doubt is like trying to silence a symphony. The music exists to be heard, not to be muted. Expressing your passions doesn't just enrich your own life, it inspires others. When people witness someone living with genuine enthusiasm and purpose, it creates a ripple effect. It reminds them of their own dreams and motivates them to pursue what sets their hearts on fire. Your courage to embrace and express your passions can be the encouragement someone else needs to do the same. Passion is contagious. It spreads energy, positivity, and possibility wherever it goes. By stepping into your light, you unknowingly light the path for others. Yet, expressing your passions is not without challenges. There will always be critics, doubters, and those who misunderstand your journey. It's easy to let the fear of judgment hold you back. But remember this, the opinions of others are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to honor the fire within you. Passion is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. It's about showing up with all your enthusiasm, creativity, and effort, even if the outcome isn't flawless. The act of expressing your passion is itself an accomplishment, a triumph over fear and hesitation. It's also important to understand that your passion doesn't have to make sense to everyone. Not everyone will see what you see or feel what you feel, and that's okay. Your passion is yours for a reason. It was placed in your heart to give your life meaning and direction. Don't waste time seeking approval or validation. Instead, focus on nurturing and developing your passions. Allow them to grow and evolve. The right people, the ones who are meant to be inspired by your journey, will recognize and appreciate your light. Expressing your passions also means embracing vulnerability. It requires you to put yourself out there, to take risks, and to face uncertainty. But in that vulnerability lies incredible strength. When you pursue your passions with courage, you build resilience. You learn to trust yourself and to find joy in the process, rather than just the outcome. Passion is not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about waking up every day excited to create, explore, and contribute in ways that are uniquely yours. The world needs more people who are alive with passion. Too often, we are surrounded by routine, conformity, and apathy. But when someone dares to live with passion, it disrupts the monotony and reminds us of what's possible. It brings color to a gray world and breathes life into spaces that felt stagnant. Your passion has the power to transform not only your life but also the lives of others. Whether you're an artist, a teacher, an innovator, or a dreamer, your passion is a light meant to shine. So don't hide your light. Let it shine boldly, unapologetically, and brightly. Express your passions in every way you can through your words, your actions, your creations, and your pursuits. Let your enthusiasm be a beacon, drawing others to the warmth and brilliance of your authentic self. In doing so, you'll discover that passion, when shared, grows exponentially. It becomes not just a personal joy, but a force for connection, inspiration, and change. Illuminate the room. The world is waiting for your light. The world is a place of constant challenges, opportunities, and uncertainties. To navigate it successfully, you must face it with confidence. Shyness may feel like a shield, a way to avoid scrutiny, rejection, or failure, but it's not protection, it's a barrier. Shyness keeps you from stepping into the arena, from taking risks that could lead to incredible rewards, and from fully expressing who you are. Courage, not shyness, is what arms you to handle life's challenges, and it is the key to unlocking your potential. Confidence is not about being fearless or never doubting yourself. It's about acknowledging those fears and doubts, but choosing to act in spite of them. It's a mindset that allows you to say, I may not have all the answers, but I trust myself to figure it out. Confidence is built through action, through showing up and engaging with the world, even when it feels uncomfortable. Every time you take a step forward, despite your hesitations, you build a stronger foundation of courage and self-belief. Shyness, on the other hand, often holds you back. It tells you to stay in the background, to avoid risks, and to play it safe. While this may seem like a way to avoid pain or failure, it also means missing out on growth, success, and the joy of achieving something meaningful. Challenges are inevitable in life, whether you face them with shyness or with confidence. The difference lies in how you approach them. Shyness often magnifies fears and makes obstacles appear larger than they are. Confidence, however, gives you the clarity and strength to tackle those challenges head-on. One of the most important aspects of building confidence is understanding that it's a skill, not an innate trait. Nobody is born with unshakable confidence. It's something that develops over time, through experiences, and through the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. Start small. If you need to speak up in a meeting, try something new, or share your ideas with others. Each time you take these steps, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Confidence grows through these small victories, gradually silencing the voice of doubt. Facing the world with confidence also means embracing your uniqueness. Shyness often stems from the fear of judgment or rejection. But the truth is, no one else can bring what you bring to the table. Your perspective, talents, and voice are valuable. When you allow shyness to silence you, the world misses out on what you have to offer. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or dominating, it means showing up authentically and unapologetically. It's about owning your individuality and recognizing that your contributions matter. Challenges are a part of life, but they are also opportunities in disguise. They push you to grow, to adapt, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. When you approach challenges with confidence, you see them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Courage allows you to take risks, to fail and try again, and to learn from every experience. It's through this process that you develop resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger each time life tests you. Confidence also has a way of creating opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-assurance because it inspires trust and respect. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal goals, confidence opens doors that shyness might keep closed. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too. This doesn't mean you'll never face rejection or criticism, but it does mean you'll have the strength to keep moving forward. It's important to remember that confidence is not arrogance. True confidence is quiet, rooted in self-awareness and a genuine belief in your abilities. It's not about proving yourself to others, but about knowing your worth and standing firm in it. Courage is the backbone of this kind of confidence. It's what empowers you to take the first step, to face your fears, and to keep going even when the path is uncertain. So face the world with confidence. Don't let shyness rob you of the experiences and achievements waiting for you. Challenges will come, but courage will guide you through them. Trust yourself, take action, and remember that every step you take is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. The world needs what you have to offer, but it can only see it if you have the courage to show up. In conclusion, Never let shyness hold you back from embracing the challenges and opportunities that life presents. Confidence, fueled by courage, is the force that will help you navigate through life's uncertainties and elevate you to new heights. By expressing your voice, asking for what you deserve, celebrating your uniqueness, standing firm in your values, and sharing your passions, you unlock the power within you to create the life you desire. Remember, the world is full of challenges, but they are merely stepping stones to your success. So face the world with confidence, knowing that you are equipped with everything you need to thrive. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect on these words. May you step into your life with unwavering confidence and a heart full of courage.